Welcome to Leaders and Legacies. I'm Derek Simpson, your host, and on this show, our goal is to focus on leaders in our local community and in the surrounding region who are doing amazing things in our community, and as a result, they create legacies, whether it be an individual or an organization or a company, a legacy that others follow and others believe in, and that makes a meaningful difference in our community and society for years to come. And in this particular show, we're following up on another show that we had previously with Nanny Connie Simpson. And yes, her last name is Simpson, such as mine, because she is in fact my sister. But what's most important is that she is a leader in her industry, and you'll hear why shortly, that is quickly becoming a legacy because of the impact that she's having in the lives of families literally around the world. Welcome, Connie.
Hi.
Welcome back. So I talked so much just now about the fact that you are working with families not only locally, whether it be in Mobile, Alabama, or in California or other states, but around the world. But when you do your travels, do you notice any significant difference between going into one household, no matter where they are in that 1% club, to another household where it's just a new mom who had enough money and enough wherewithal to get you in there to help them get off on the right foot? Are there big differences?
No, they all, and that was very to the point, but they all put their pants on the same way that we do, one leg at a time. And once you go in, and I guess maybe I should retract that a little bit. In the beginning, you're kind of like taken back because you say, oh, this is who, this is that, and whatever. But then when you get in there, they're people. And they just happen to live inside of this little bubble that people always sit there and look at them inside of it. But no, they're the same as we are, and they want to learn about their babies. And one father said to me, he looked at his daughter and he was crying. And I asked him, you know, what was the problem? He says, I just don't want to mess up. And they're more into not wanting the wheels to come off their bus, as opposed to, I guess, in the everyday world, because they have so much, you know, that's riding on these kids.
And they're in the spotlight
Yes.
so much that every
Yes.
little thing
Yes.
that in an ordinary family, I say
Right.
ordinary in terms of socioeconomics, would just be a way, you know,
Right.
just another day in the neighborhood, so to speak. But in their world,
Right.
the paparazzi's looking on, TV cameras
Always.
looking on,
Right.
etc. Since we're on that track, not to talk about that particular dad that called someone out, but who are some of the people that you've worked with that people who are watching this particular program might notice when you talk about those names?
Well, I just left Emily Blunt. She was my, and I call her my baby because once I get involved in the family, the mother becomes my baby just as much as the baby is my baby. And I came out this way with Brooke Shields, and she's my other baby. She and I are constantly in touch with each other. And I've helped several, but I haven't been in their home for a long period of time. But I helped Matt Damon. I did 2 of his babies, and I was with him for quite a while, and they're all my babies. So just to give you the 1% club of that world.
Right.
So.
Right. And I know it goes on and on for you
Yeah.
because in one of our other shows, you mentioned that you've actually helped in the span of your career how many babies?
250 plus, and Josh.
And counting.
Yes.
Yeah, that's an amazing amount
Yes.
of expertise. And we also mentioned before, and I want to bring it up again, in the sense that just going through that experience, people often say, you know, do you have, you know, 10 years of experience, or do you have 1 year of experience 10 times? And in your particular case, you've got 34 years of experience, meaning it's cumulative, that you've learned something in each one of those experiences
That's right.
about the babies.
That's
and it's a
right.
lot of common sense, I would imagine, that goes
lot
into.
of common sense.
Can you share some of that as well?
A lot of common sense, and I often tell a lot of my parents and stuff, I have been trapped in my own, what do they call it, laboratory for the last 30 some years. I have tested, I have retested, I have tried, and I have pretty much, now I've made my list of the essential stuff that goes in the baby bag, which goes in the, your medical bag, or how to do this or what you need to do when you leave the hospital. Because, as grandma used to say, if it ain't broke, don't try to fix it. And I think society fixes and fixes and fixes when there's really nothing wrong with the old school way. And some of the stuff that I've done and used over the years, and some of it you see here on the table, is just it's common sense and it works. I don't want to change it because it works.
Right, right.
So,
And I noticed that, and we'll do a graphic, but you have a diaper bag essential. So
yes.
one would think you buy a diaper bag, you throw some stuff in there, but like you just said, there are some essentials.
Right.
And what made you come up with this little checklist that we'll show later?
Because I have gone into Babies R Us and the other diet and baby stores 1,000 times and seen a mother stand and look like this for quite some time, trying to figure out what do I need, and then the flashing coupon pops out and they go, oh, that's what I want to get, or oh, this is what I need, and
Right.
and you don't really need all of that. This is what you need. This is how you do it.
So on this table then, if you were to just say a couple of essentials that you would tell a mom or a dad right off the bat, what are some of the things that you have here, and tell why it's so important?
I would say gas drops.
Now, where is that?
That's right here.
Okay, so if I'm a mom and you come in to see me or a
Right.
dad, I need gas drops?
Yes.
Why?
Because babies are you. And most people have acid reflux and indigestion problems that they don't know about. Or they do know about, but they just think, oh, the baby doesn't have it. Well, the baby does inherit some of the stuff that you have because it's your child. Secondly, every time the baby swallows, it swallows air. When you take your child out from the car to the house, it doesn't know how to swallow like us, so it gulps air. So gas drops are essential to you getting the, earlier someone asked us about sleep. Gas drops, before the bottle helps because they learn how to express their gas without having you sit there and, come on, burp, 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 burp. So this helps.
Now this looks pretty sophisticated here. Why would I need this?
This is called a travel bottle rack, and it collapses. So you can put it in your diaper bag, you can go, and I've traveled so many places, but it works.
Okay.
And, they have plenty of ones that look really cute, but this one works, and I love it because it collapses.
So I guess another thing is you don't have to go for the really sophisticated, high-end products. You look for something, like you said, that's tried and true, and it could be very basic.
Yes.
Now, something that does actually have a battery, and I'm all about the manuals, and I said in one of the other shows that we get manuals for everything. I'm sure this came with all sorts of nice packaging and a manual.
Yes.
We didn't get a manual with the baby when it came out.
No.
So that's where your expertise comes in.
Yes.
What is this, and why should I care?
I've tried a lot of thermometers, and until your child is, I would say, going away to college, you need to have a thermometer in the home. And this is one of the top of the line thermometers. The doctors use it. It waves across the forehead. It's the most accurate temperature reading that you've had. I don't have the batteries in it, but I promise you it does work.
Okay.
And then here's my other one. Just to have, you need to have a couple in the house so that you have them at all times for, there's teething, there's viruses, there's a lot of stuff, and you want to keep up with it.
What's another essential that we have here? I see this looks like a book here.
Yes.
Says. So why is this important?
This is really important because until they are of age, that you don't, kids get books, and the first thing you want to do is don't tear the pages. But you want your child to kind of explore it and not be afraid of reading. So you want to get books that, they're durable. So. And you want them in colors that kids kind of communicate with. Black, white, red, these are the colors, although this one isn't, but there are plenty. And they make sounds, and it has a mirror, and a mirror is like worth gold for an infant because they love looking at themselves. So.
Well, so do I, so I guess we never get over that, right?
And then here's one that you can also use in the bathtub. It makes bath time even fun. So, I'm really big on an advocate for kids learning to read. You were talking about stuff that you get. Here's one I wanted to show you. This comes from the hospital.
Okay, so we have, what would this be called?
Okay, this is an aspirator.
Okay.
It's the bulb.
And the brush?
And this this is just the brush that the doctors use in the hospital when the baby's born. And it's a very soft bristle. And when you're at home, there's cradle caps. Some people talk about it, kids who have a lot of hair, but until that kid gets to be old, does that hurt you?
No.
No. So don't leave the hospital without this. This is so essential, and guess what? You already paid for it.
Huh.
So that, and this is, you cannot buy this in the drugstore or in any other place because it's the best one. It's like the industrial strength. So,
Really? But they don't sell it in a drugstore?
well, they sell one, but it doesn't give you that suction.
Oh, so the quality.
So, yeah, it's a
Okay.
great quality, and you can
Yeah.
feel the
Yeah,
air
I
that's
can
coming out.
tell. So let me ask you, because you just mentioned something like you paid for it. I guess that's another moment of education,
Yes.
a teachable moment, as
Yes.
they would say. What advice would you give to new parents when they're leaving? They don't have a clue what they're
Right.
supposed to ask for or to take home,
Right.
or whatever the case may be. So what would you tell them as their
Well,
checklist?
On your checklist in that hospital, I can promise you, if you opened it, it's yours.
Okay.
And so when you're in the hospital, the little blankets that are phenomenal, those blankets, I know you probably aren't supposed to come home with them, but, and then the aspirator and all the diapers, anytime the diapers are open, any information that they can give you about your breastfeeding packet, if any of the formula that comes into your room, anything that comes in and has your baby's name and your name on it, it's yours, and you do need to leave with it.
Now, is there anything that they should ask for maybe that they may not see? Are there things that you find that they could get from the hospital before they come home, but it just happens that the doctors or the hospital doesn't always recommend it?
No, because they've gotten so, the life is taking a turn, they don't give you a lot anymore. So pretty much everything does come in the room, although the brush, you would not, and some qualities of the brush are better than the others, but still bring it home.
So when you get home then, and we talked in a previous show just about setting up the nursery, are there any common issues that you find that when you go into a new home? I know you send them the checklist of what to have there for you, but what would be some of the top things you would want a person to know about setting up that nursery? Everybody's into the look, the
Yeah,
colors and the
aesthetics.
bed and all of that,
Yeah.
but functionality,
Yeah,
what do you want people to know about that?
You can, I promise you, what you need for that baby's first year, or more than that first 6 months, you could fit it on this table. That's how basic it is.
And that'll be a happy baby.
That will be a very happy baby, besides mom standing on the side.
And I know that we're going to have to go to a break in just a moment. But when you talked about that deer in the headlight looks of the mom being overwhelmed in that store,
Right.
looking at all these products, if you could streamline that down to just the essentials where they know they're not really leaving anything out, that's a big step, right? Because they have
huge.
what they need.
That's huge, because even unpacking all of the stuff that they get from the baby showers, they don't use 3/4 of it.
Right.
They use diapers, they use wipes, they use t-shirts, they use burp cloths, and bottles.
Well, speaking of the baby shower then, should they have, like, I think they call them registers, where instead of all the fancy stuff, you put the basics on here? Like how about a crate of this stuff or about 20 tubes of this? Would you recommend that, maybe parents set something like that up
Well,
if it's the basics?
I would personally truly recommend that, but the world that we're in,
Right,
it's like
right.
the
They want-
packaging and
yeah.
selling it. So
They want the motorized
Exactly.
little Rolls Royce miniature or something
exactly,
like
they want the battery everything, and
Yeah.
I don't believe in batteries
Yeah.
for babies.
that. So when we come back,
Yes.
we're going to have a few questions from
Okay.
audience members that are here.
Okay.
And we are excited to have Nanny Connie Simpson here with us. And when we return, we'll have questions from people such as you that are watching. Thank you. Welcome back to Leaders and Legacies. I'm Derek Simpson, your host, and on this particular episode, we have the pleasure and honor of talking with Nanny Connie Simpson. And before we went to this break, we mentioned that we had a few questions from people who've joined us here in the audience, and the first person that we'll speak with is Mary. But Nanny Connie just put a few more products on the table, so I want to ask you a quick question.
Yes.
As we look at the products here on this table. You put out this little outfit here, and why would this be important?
Well, this is the second skin, and it's what I call it. It's a onesie. And when we were kids growing up, you kept on your T-shirt,
All right.
and it was your second layer. When weather started to change, Mom put you in a T-shirt, and you didn't take it off until the weather changed back till it was warm. Well, with babies, people don't understand the importance of having the T-shirt. We want to project babies in our image and likeness, and that's right away. So we put them in the pants and
Whatever
the whole
the
outfit.
is,
Yes,
when really what they need is the basics.
that's right. That's right.
So in the interest of time, let's go to Mary, who has a question for you. And what would that question be, Mary?
Hi, Connie. Thanks
Hi.
so much. Wanted to ask, besides the aspirator, is there anything that you would suggest to help relieve congestion when your child has a head cold?
Yes. Eucalyptic oil, a really good humidifier, one that sprays across the room, and invest in it. If your kids are young, you're gonna need it. So get one, get you some eucalyptic oil, and saline drops. We have some here. Oh, sorry. We have some here, but little noses. And when they're really little, literally saline drops will kill the germs inside of their nose quicker than anything, and it helps clear up that congestion. Common cold is 10 days, so you can use this in a humidifier and they're going to be okay, I promise. It works pretty well. So, and here's the first line of defense is going to be your hand sanitizing. You know, you can do it at home, this foam, whatever. You have this one, and then you can also get one that you put on your stroller or in your purse, and that's the other one. Okay. So you can always have it, and washing your hands are, as they say, key to killing all the germs. And a thing you need to remember is when you have a little one at home, the ones who go to school are going to bring everything back. So get them to clean, take off the clothes from school, and put on new play clothes. I know it sounds a little bit much, but they leave the germs at the door as opposed to bringing them through the house.
Well, it's interesting that you're saying that, because I know in a hospital environment, people are constantly washing their hands. In the stores, they're constantly,
it's everywhere
especially
now.
Food services.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yes.
I don't know that we had one other question. While the next person is getting ready, though, for that question, wanted to ask you, you've got so much knowledge here. What should a person look for when they're choosing a nanny? What would you say maybe the top 3-4 things? If you're out there and you're about to select someone that's going to be in your home, 24/7, what would be some of the things that you would suggest people look for in that person?
Number one, that they can follow directions. Mm-hmm. They have to be able, they're your second, they're you. Mm-hmm. And that's what you want them to be. So you want to make sure that you're compatible with them. And if your kid loves them, you only have to like them. Mm-hmm. So don't get upset to go, oh, it's not the person that I really want. Well, but if your kid really loves them, you kind of have to give into it and go with the flow. You have to make sure they can follow instructions, they can drive, they can meet all of your needs. And then that person will gel into what you are, and be forthcoming with everything. Don't say it's going to be one way and then after you get in there it's something different. Right. Because if they are the person you want, you're going to run them away. Right.
So we have another opportunity here to ask a question, and that's from Laurie. And Laurie, what's your question?
So I have a question. I bought different brand pacifier, and I noticed that my 3-month-old daughter, she really liked the Soothy one.
Yes.
And how often are you supposed to replace that, like even with bottles?
Okay. pacifiers have a time and a place. They're pacifiers. And to have a 5-year-old walking around with a pacifier, I don't think that's the appropriate thing to do. They're to comfort you at the point of you going to sleep, or when, you know, it can be a person's security. Whenever I introduce it to families, I do like them, don't get me wrong, but I think they should be when they're in the bed, when they're in a particular place. Most of my babies can't have them until they're ready to go to sleep. And the Soothy one, which is this one right here, it will tell you on the packet. They can, this is the first one, the starter one. And then the 6th month, I think, turns purple or yellow. You get into your colors. But they start to get really soft. And that makes the baby happy. So don't, if it's okay, if she's happy, don't upset her apple cart. Unless it's just really grungy, then I would say change it. But the other thing to it is that the nipple gets shorter. So there's a length to the Soothies. I figured that one out too in my little laboratory. But it's a really good pacifier for them. And like I said, I don't carry it around, but I do put it in the diaper bag to have for emergencies. But pacifiers for bedtime when they're, you know, when they've had their bath in bed.
Speaking of your laboratory and all that you've done, what's some of your most memorable experiences? I know you've talked about going to Dubai and south of France and all those things, but those are just places. What are some of your most memorable moments or experiences as a nanny in your career?
I've been with several parents that I really, for lack of a better phrase, thought I was going to have to call Child Protective Services. It's like no, but to walk out of the home and see everyone become the nucleus as opposed to being divided, that's my most prized possession of this experience, because that means I've done my job. I've given all that I can give. They've accepted all that I have, and they've learned something. And they can go play golf, they can go all away for their weekends, they can do whatever, but they do know the sense of family. So that's what I treasure most about it.
Yeah, and as you say that, I know that just like that older sibling feels like the new baby is taking away from mom, I would imagine dad feels like that new baby is taken away from mom. So how do you work with dads in these new families to help them be in a limited amount of time here? What's your quick statement to dads out there?
Keep hope alive.
Okay.
No.
That choked me up.
No, it will all come back. Everything will, your universe will fall back into place. Everything will be fine. You know, give mom a moment, things will work out, and you know, you'll have her back until the next baby come, and then by then you'll have more strength. So.
Yeah. Now, the name of the program is Leaders and Legacies. Clearly, from all that you've shared in this show and the program before, you're a leader based on the experiences that you had, and you wouldn't have gone through over 250 babies if your reputation didn't precede you. Going forward and looking back, what would you like for your legacy? When people talk about Nanny Connie in the years to come, what do you want them to say about you in 30 seconds that we have?
I want them to say that my child is who they are because I started off with the foundation of that woman that came into my home. And if that hadn't happened, it wouldn't be what we have today. So.
Very good, very good. Thank you. So we've shared with you products that you can consider. Nanny Connie also had a checklist for diaper bags, and we're going to make that available on the program for you as well. We've shared a great deal of information, not only for mom, but for dads. It's another program that features a leader and a legacy that's in the works. And thanks to you, this program will continue to feature great guests such as Nanny Connie. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to having you the next time.